Okay, guys, we're gonna do our quick recap for today. Today we had three trades. We had the first trade was on VVPR. So we'll jump into this stock. Here we can see on the 5-minute chart that we'll jump into the daily chart so you can see what it looked like, what I was looking at whenever I jumped in here. So I could see that this was a very nice pattern, bull flag pattern here. Uh, So a break of 1061 was a daily breakout on this candle. On this day, it broke it, which which was on Friday, and then so potentially I was watching for 15 profit target of $15. We'll look at the 1-minute chart so we can look at and see what I actually traded, how I traded it. So this stock was it was the first stock that halted on the day. So in my mind, I was like, okay, well, this thing had definitely caught people's attention. You know, it had failed and then it just squeezed up, it halted. I was hoping for a 5-minute halt. If it would have been a 5-minute halt, it would have looked something like this. But it was a 15-minute long halt, so I felt that the momentum kind of died a little bit. Well, it resumed up at $13.75 from $12 up to $13.75. It pulled back. I was still kind of interested. I was thinking about buying the dip. I did buy the dip. Got filled here at a little over $13 for the dip buy. But this thing, it failed. It did not hold $13, and it came down to $12.75, or actually $12.54. I added there at 75 for the move higher. My average was like around 95, somewhere around that level. It was struggling to break that level, so I was like, man, well, I need to get out of this because usually these that don't hold, they end up failing pretty hard. This one had the potential to come down to $12. So I started trying to scale out. It did squeeze up to 13.33, and I got out around 13.30, which was pretty nice. But again, I'm kind of disappointed that I did not take my whole profit there, and I just decided to hold half and hold the other half for the bigger move. And you know, if I would have, my average was 90. If I would have sold up here at 30, from 90 to 30, that's 40 cents a profit. With 600 shares, that's about 180 bucks, 200 bucks. But I sold half there, and then it could not break that level, and the spreads were so big that I didn't want to take the bid because it would have been I would have sold pretty low, which, and I guess in this trade it would have helped me out because I ended up selling the other half down here around 75, close to my second entry. So I was green on that trade, but kind of disappointed in the way I traded it. Let's see, I believe that was it on that stock. So here, here you can clearly see that it wasn't as clean out of the gate, out of the halt resumption. So that's something to keep an eye on. You had the very similar to, I believe it was Friday, you had to squeeze up and then it just failed. This one kind of did the same thing. So the next stock that we traded was MICT. MICT was was an entry, almost like a whole dollar entry. Here we'll scoot this back a little bit so you can see what I was looking for. So here we can see that we had two potential entries here. The break of the whole dollar. This red candle is not a pretty one, by the way. So the break of the whole candle, a little pullback here, and then an entry here over 595 for a little micro pullback. So I was on the next candle, I was watching this for a break of 595, definitely for a move up to 5 cents profit, and then a squeeze up to 610 potentially. Well, as soon as I bought, I bought on the next candle. 595 is your entry there, micro pullback. Bought in at 95, came up to $6. Right away, there was a big seller there at 6. I think it was like a 20,000 share seller. He was not getting bought up, so I was like, crap, well, I need to bail out. I don't want this to come down and go red on me. Could have gave it more room, but I just decided to cut it loose, and I got out there at 6, probably 5.99, 6. And then for the next candle, it came up to 6.15, and then it just kind of had a little pullback here over 613, squeezed up to 630, and it just chopped around here. So that was just a small little trade, a small little winner, nothing really to be super excited about. And then we had AUVI. Again, this was a stock after a trade after a halt. The way I traded this was I was watching this. So this was an interesting stock because it's a recent IPO. Recent IPO means that it just started to be publicly traded. It used to be a private company, and now it's available for the retail investors to purchase it. So on this trade, it just popped up out of nowhere. It made a move from $6.50 up to $7, so it halted there at $7. Halted here at 7. So I was watching this for a halt resumption. Again, my usual cup of tea. Squeeze up, pull back, entry on the pullback, and then for the move higher and potentially even higher, move higher. So this one did exactly that. It resumed a little bit higher at 707. It pulled back, came all the way down to 65. I was looking at it to get in there at 65.70. I was thinking real hard about it, but I was like, man, these stocks have been pretty weak. I'm just gonna let this one sit, let this one go by. Well, this thing went from 65 all the way up to 710, and then up to 733. Well, guess where I got in? I got in there at 31. Pathetic entry. I got in way too high at the very top of that candle, which is very risky. And it could not break that level. So it came down to 720, sold a little bit there at 720, and then sold the rest here at 710. So, 20 cents from my entry, 20-cent loss, which the loss portion of it isn't that bad. I was able to manage my loss, but disappointed in the way that I traded it. I didn't time my entry right. I mean, the entry was down here, 70, 65, 70 for a move up to 7, that's 30 cents. And then another 30 cents for the move to the high. Could have been a 50, 60 cent winner, but instead it was a little loser there. And then for this stock to just go right back up, So this right here is an entry. This would have been an entry here as well. Over 735, you get this little pullback here. Then candle to make a new high over 720, hit a high 735. So here you have 2 in 1. You have a micro pullback here on this candle and a half day break, which is 735. Yeah, half day break. So that's a 2 in 1 setup. Potential entry there if you see green volume coming in. Of course, the volume is a little bit lower, decreasing volume, but on the next candle it does go up 735 up to high of 766. As you can tell here that it barely popped up and squeezed back. It squeezed up and then it dropped, potentially because of this decline in volume here. And this isn't very, you have high volume, high green volume, but shooting star doji. It's not a good combination, so most likely here on the next candle you'll get a drop of the 730, maybe down to 67 to 710. Let's see what it does. Yeah, so it, from 730 came down to 725. So nice little drop there, and it did bounce up here to 50. And on the next candle, let's see, we might get a little pullback. Yeah, so nice little flush down to 710. So that was it. Nothing super excited. I think today I'm barely break even, which this month has been pretty interesting. It's been very tough actually, from green to red, green to red, green to red, and today was just a little break even day. Hopefully today is a I guess turnaround day where the momentum maybe starts to shift. Able to. So this is, I think, 4 days into September, so I'm kind of getting traction on the month, trying to getting it figured out. What's working, what's not working, and from there I'll be able to capitalize and time my entries very well and be aggressive whenever I need to, and just kind of pull back whenever also I need to. All right, guys.